tell a story. I'm going to tell a story about some of the background of my event life. Yeah, I started working life as a journalist, and yeah, that was cool, but I went off to university after a couple of years as a journalist, and I went to Otago University, and it's fair to say I immersed myself in the complete experience of university life at Otago. There were opportunities at Otago University, obviously the academic. I'll freely admit, even though I had the media background, I did a commerce degree in marketing, communications and management, and I primarily did that because it had the least amount of hours per week. I think in my first year at Otago University, I was doing 14 hours. But what that did do, it freed up lots of time to do other things, to do extracurricular activities. And I made the most of those. I was the sports officer on Student Exec for a year. I did some stuff on student radio. I was the sports editor for the student newspaper. I played in a band. I played representative sport. I managed to squeeze that in. I also got selected for New Zealand University's tennis team at one stage. There was lots of things going on, but I've got an example of, I guess, some early days of my event life and some entrepreneurial sort of activity around my event life at university. I guess evolved from having pretty massive student parties at our flat where I'd hire a commercial sound system, even bring some lighting in, clear out all our rooms. I'd put on all the music, and we sort of evolved from there, where I had the opportunity in the early days of karaoke. Yep, early days of karaoke. I was playing in a student band at the time, and I had this opportunity with karaoke at a local bar in town. And so this bar, this Bracken's bar off the Octagon in Dunedin, gave me the opportunity to, well, I went out and saw sponsorship and got some from Monteith. So every time you sung, you got a free Monteith. Also had the opportunity to add a little bit of extra revenue. So for a little bit, it was free obviously to do karaoke, but for $5, I think it was $5, we could give you a free cassette tape of the song you were singing. Also came up with a name. Didn't want to call it karaoke, so we called it the Monteith Songbuster. And I was involved in promoting it, promoting this two nights of a week for a year. I hosted and ran the show. So I did the sponsorship, came up with the name, did a promotion, and as well as sort of running the whole night. It was really successful. We were packing people in 2 nights of the week at this bar, and obviously they were selling lots of beer at the bar for this Monteith Songbuster. So actually it was a really good experience looking back, in that yes, I was still at university, I was actually still playing in a band at the time, I was still playing some sport at the time, but just this whole thing of pulling together some sponsorship and the organisation, and just used to get such a buzz out of seeing the number of people come through that door every week to do the Monteith Songbuster at this Bracken's bar in Dunedin. So it was awesome experience, awesome event experience, but also a bit of commercial experience as well. And I was about 20 at the time, maybe 21 at the time, maybe, and I loved it. And so, tell you what, that's a little bit of event life story from me from, oh God, years ago. I'd love to hear from you as well, an early story, that's something in your industry that you maybe did early on and you thought, yeah, this is cool, this is what I want to do with my life. Love to hear some early stories of potentially something that you were involved with years ago that set you up for potentially what you're doing now. Cheers.